Obviously, we got Duquesne coming to town. They had a really good game against Buffalo. Beginning of the fourth quarter there, they took the lead. It was 28-24, I believe it was, and did some really good things in that football game. Buffalo, after looking at them, they were an 8-4 team last year, 6-2 in the MAC, so I thought it was impressive for them to go on the road. Really came back after a 21-0 deficit, and receiver had 100 and almost 200 yards. Quarterback's a good quarterback. We saw him last year. He can throw the ball around. They look like they're a much improved team, so I'm sure they'll be excited to come up the road about an hour and play Youngstown State. We've recruited some of the same guys in the past, whether it be in Western Pennsylvania. They're getting some more guys from Ohio, so I see them probably a little bit more in Ohio than I have in the past. So they got some guys on their team from the Ohio area that I'm sure will be excited to play here in the Ice Castle. So we're looking forward to being back home. 4 o'clock start, 4:05, and then we'll have 1:45 walk through the tailgate lot there and get in the locker room and get ready to go play.
Coach, some of the players said that you made some corrections yesterday in practice from the Illinois game. Did you see anything in that Illinois game that worried you kind of long-term in the season, or for the most part was this a confidence booster to be in that game?
We had some missed opportunities. We went back and watched the tape. There were several times in the red zone that we should have had touchdowns, and we didn't execute and get that done. Regular plays that we run all the time, and we hope that we now recognize the importance of executing at that time. In the red zone, everything's tighter, everything's moving faster, so we have to think the same way. We got to find a way to get 7 down there instead of kicking field goals. Fortunately, we have a good kicker and a good punter, but we got to be able to convert those points. We saw a lot of missed opportunities, and that was frustrating for us. But they're all correctable, and I think our kids are looking forward to turning the page and moving forward. And every game's important. Every game you play, and I think with Duquesne showing against Buffalo, I think they have our attention.
How do you, in a game that you had some chances to win and beat Illinois, now you're playing a team that, with all due respect, is a lower level team. I mean, how do you avoid kind of a letdown?
Well, I mean, I don't necessarily view them as a lower level team. I mean, they have scholarships too. I'm sure they have creative ways of working grant and aids. They have 40+ scholarships, and obviously that didn't matter when they played Buffalo. So I think they're a very good football team. They're well coached, and that coach has been there a long time. And I don't view them as a lower level team in any way.
We were noticing that UNI was playing at Hawaii this week, and wondered why you couldn't get that one.
That would be a good one to get. I just don't know what the payday would be like. We might spend all of our money flying over there. I've made that trip to Hawaii, and from Manhattan, Kansas, it was a long time. I can't imagine from Youngstown what it would be like. But maybe we can get that done. Maybe Dana can get that set up, get some of that WFMJ money, get some money like that, get Coy, chip in some bucks, and we'll all jump on a plane and go play Hawaii. Hawaii had a nice game, though, against Washington.
Eric, what impressed you about the conference games this week, if any?
Well, I think, you look across the board, really, you got North Dakota State. I think everyone expected them to beat Iowa State. Someone said the other day that Iowa State's won 5 now in a row and won a bunch of Big 12 games, maybe more games than some other Big 12 teams. But that's not surprising. I mean, they beat Kansas State last year, who was a good football team. But South Dakota State is in the ball game with Missouri for a good portion of time, and that's a good SEC team. You look at Indiana State. Indiana State goes and plays Indiana, holds them to 28. Indiana was putting up points left and right last year on everybody. Held them to 28, had a good ball game there. And then you got Northern Iowa, obviously, playing against Iowa. And Iowa's supposed to have a good team this year. And then, we squandered an opportunity to get a Big Ten game ourselves. So I think our conference has shown once again that it's the strongest conference. And hopefully we can continue to represent our conference well and show that we are the #1 league.
Can you talk about the home opener, just what that means?
Well, it's always great to come back home. I think our fans are excited. I think after last week's game, there was a lot of question marks for our team just as far as just having a new quarterback, and we don't have a lot of named guys. So who do you say is coming back for Youngstown State? Who's their marquee guys? Well, there's not really anybody that anybody mentions off the top of their head. So we kind of embrace that, and they'll get a chance to see these guys play firsthand. And our home crowd is a great crowd. Tailgates lots are always full. It's a great game day environment. One of the best in college football as far as our level.
See a change on defense. Mike Palumbo's moving into the same position.
I'm sorry?
Mike Palumbo's moving into the same position according to the depth chart.
Moving into the same position.
Well, I mean, he wasn't there last week, was he?
Yeah.
Or was?
Yeah.
I mean, you look at,
He started at Sam linebacker.
Changed his number.
Okay. My mistake.
That's a good job. A good job noticing.
it was a pretty conservative game plan for Dante. Do you
Mhm.
want to use these next 3 games to kind of get him?
Well, obviously we're a ball control team. We've always enjoyed having the ball for time of possession. We came out on the short end of that, but we like to possess the football. That keeps the other team on the other sideline. But there were some opportunities there that we may have checked out some plays that we could have probably stayed with, but we felt like we had this play over here. It's probably a safer bet. But in hindsight, we'll stay with our same formula we always have. Is we'll take opportunities to take shots when they present themselves, but we're going to try to control the ball.
How does he handle that?
He does. He's fine. There's a couple plays in there that a couple plays he knew he should have probably pitched the ball, and it might have been 7 right there, and came off of one read and went another way, and things like that. But those are all manageable things and correctable.
Jody Webb okay?
Jody Webb's good to go. He was at practice yesterday, flying around. So it's always good to see number 20 out there. Like him. He's a good kid, fast guy, young guy, sophomore, Toledo, Ohio.
What were some of the strides in the defense? I mean, I thought the defense looked as good as it has in a while.
Yeah, we like that.
After watching film,
I think defensive line did a good job. They handled those guys up front. To shut down the run game, other than the one that popped, we didn't have the front set right. If we get the front set right, that doesn't happen. So it's like the kickoff. It's like the kickoff return they had. We got one guy getting horse collared and 2 guys getting blocked in the back. If those are called, that ball's not even out there on the other side of the field. But unfortunately, we didn't get a review on that. So that's the way it goes.
Will Duquesne throw it, or?
They're going to throw it around. They'll try to run the ball a little bit here and there to keep you honest, but they got a good quarterback and good group of receivers, and that's what they're comfortable doing. So they're going to throw it around. And they got some creative things, do a lot of formation in the boundary, stuff like that. But, they'll probably try to look at doing some things also that they saw Illinois do. And we have a corrections period on Mondays to get those things ironed out so we know how to handle them in the future.
You put up a ton of points on them last year. What about their defense this year? More challenging?
I think they're much improved. Same coordinator, same defensive style, but I think they feel pretty confident in their front, anchored by the big guy in middle, Zidian from Boardman. And they got a couple of linebackers that actually got beat out by some other guys. They had 3 or 4 returning starters, and some of those guys got beat out by some younger guys. So feel pretty good about that, and they're not afraid to get up and press you a little bit and play some man coverage in some different situations at the defensive back position. They got some transfers from Florida and some different places like that they've had before, but they return their secondary. So I see some confidence there in that group and that side of the ball.
Do you get a sense that they're trying to get their program up from the lower levels of FCS to the higher?
I think they definitely are, and when we've recruited against them, it's a difficult. They're a difficult school to recruit against, in the fact that they have that college type atmosphere there at Duquesne. They have their little areas in Pittsburgh that the kids are able to go out and have a social life in. So for some kids, it's attractive, and it's obviously a good school academically. So I see them definitely investing in their program.
Eric, what'd you learn about your team maybe that you didn't know after week 1?
I thought we were probably I'd say the biggest thing probably would be is we're physically better up front than I thought maybe we were. You know, we've always taken a lot of pride in trying to be good on the line of scrimmage on both sides of the ball, but physically up front in the Illinois game on both sides of the ball, we were physical, and that's a good sign.
You talked about some missed opportunities in the red zone. Is that something that falls mostly on Dante, or is it a collective?
It's a team deal. You know, we don't ever identify one person, but it's a team effort. You know, whether it's a guy maybe not catching a ball, or maybe us not giving the perfect protection we needed, or a misread. There's a lot of factors, obviously, and we accept that responsibility as an offense.